Thank you for joining us for CNTV. I'm Brad Claunch.
And I'm Quinn Tran.
During the spring and summer, weather conditions can brew tornadoes in Oklahoma.
Did you know that June is statistically the worst month? The Chickasaw Nation has an emergency management team ready to serve communities when severe weather strikes.
Not only respond to disasters, we also do a whole lot of planning. I mean, we spend most of our time planning for an event, trying to make sure we have enough resources in place. And we just basically have to look at the what ifs. How can we mitigate this? How can we do better? How can we pre-plan a little bit? We do a lot of planning with our local partners. I mean, partnerships with emergency response and is crucial.
We recently saw your group in action when tornadoes hit Marshall County in the month of March. Those storms produced major damage. Describe for us what you saw there on the ground with the tornado damage.
Our team, they located in the Buncombe Creek area, the hardest hit. I went to the Children's Village to assess their situation and the damages there. It was total chaos. The road in between the Children's Village and Kingston was just literally covered with debris, cars on the side of the road, people out with their homes and businesses. It was just amazing. The Children's Village is basically a place where kids that maybe have some family issues are able to go, and they're able to stay there with house parents, and they attend the local schools. They have educational opportunities also at the village, along with taking care of animals and some agricultural, projects that they do. To see their agricultural barn just completely destroyed. I know that several staff members have tried to park their cars over there in that area to keep from getting held on, and it completely wiped out the agricultural barn out there. One of the fortunate things that happened is we just began the previous week working on tornado and fire drills, and to know that I think it was just under 50 students at the Children's Village had took their precautions, and they knew exactly where to go because they'd previously done that earlier in the week. So it was great to know that some of those EAP plans, emergency action plans, were followed and they were safe.
You utilized drones, which gave you a great view from above. How important are those drones in your work in assessing the situation?
Our drone team put the drone up immediately the next day at first light before any debris removal or any teams had a chance to hit the ground. So we got a first look at the actual damage. Drones were a major hit. I mean, we didn't realize, we thought drones were majorly used for search and rescue operations. But when we were able to take the drones, put them up at first light, it saved so much manpower to know where the damage areas are, which roads were blocked, which resources could be deployed to those areas for debris removal to get those roads open. And we focus on, of course, life safety is number one, but we also want to get those areas open so people can come and go from their place, get resources in to help get that debris removal, get some normalcy back in their lives. Our guys are great. I mean, our drone team and the people that we have working for our emergency management team, they come in with a humble approach, but they go to work. Our people, they love what they do. They love helping people. Our team has grown to expect anything. You have to have several jackets and t-shirts and whatever, because you never know what you're going to go on. You can go on, an ice storm, and then the next day it may be a tornado. So they're always prepared to encounter that in Oklahoma. And it changes, like you say, it changes daily. It can be freezing weather one day and then in the 70s the next, and volatile weather front coming in. So we have to always be prepared for that.
Chickasaw Nation Emergency Management works hard and long hours. They're on alert year-round.
We appreciate what they do. Here's another weather resource for you. KCNP can help communities be weather ready in South Central Oklahoma. Follow them at kcnp.org. This is footage from the Artesian Arts Festival prior to the pandemic. For the first time in more than 2 years, the Artesian Arts Festival will be held in downtown Sulphur. The in-person festival is set for June 25th, featuring only Chickasaw artists. The online format will include all artists from federally recognized tribes.
The artwork from Native American artists has just continued to go up and up and up, and there's no ceiling for it. So we're getting the best of the best, and you get to see a lot of great art when you come.
Visit artesianartsfestival.com for the latest information on the events in person and online.
Chickma, the Dynamic Woman of the Year Award, recognizes Chickasaw women who are
Participants logged on for the Dynamic Women of the Chickasaw Nation Conference. The virtual event was held June 2nd and 3rd.
Rooted in Resiliency is the theme of the virtual conference. Chickasaw women shared their talents, experiences, and stories, how they grew and thrived to be resilient. During the conference, Toby Young was honored as the 2022 Dynamic Chickasaw Woman of the Year. She is a lawyer with an outstanding career in government and leadership in Washington, D.C. Connecting from Austin, Texas, she spoke with us about her career, Chickasaw heritage, and this recent recognition.
Thank you so much. It's such an honor. I'm thrilled and humbled by this. I look through the women who have achieved this and their great accomplishments and their skills and their artistic talent. So to me, it's something that I think I will have to live up to and learn to be a part of, as I've seen the other women who've received this.
Your career is so impressive with so many accomplishments, 25 years in government and regulatory experience, the youngest press secretary on Capitol Hill when you worked for Congressman J.C. Watts, the first enrolled tribal member to serve as a Supreme Court clerk in our country's history, clerking for U.S. Supreme Court Justice Neil Gorsuch. You've held important roles in each branch of the federal government, including serving as special assistant and counsel to President George W. Bush. How did the work shape you, all of this work?
Nobody in my family or my, high school growing up in Oklahoma believed me when I said I was going to go off to Washington and work at the White House one day. So, just one step at a time and do your best, work really hard. The thing about getting to be around all those jobs is you get to see people who truly care about this country, about the people in this country. I've been a civil rights attorney. I've been able to see all walks of life. I was even able to go to Mississippi once and make sure that Choctaws were able to vote in their native language. And so it's just eye-opening, to see the world outside of your own experience. And each time I worked with someone, each time I've worked with a leader or in the White House or the Supreme Court, I continue learning about myself, about our country, about justice. And it's just been thrilling.
Being a trial attorney in the Civil Rights Division of the Justice Department, you work to help Native communities. Tell us about that work.
Once I went to the Navajo Nation with the head of the Civil Rights Division and learned about issues facing them, attended a seminar. I was also able to travel to Mississippi, where we worked on voting rights issues. Many people don't know it, but it is a law in this country that you're entitled to vote and have access to the candidates in your native language that you speak. And sometimes people, running the voting booths with all good intentions aren't aware of that. And so making sure the law is followed and people have access to justice, to vote, to speak their mind. I worked quite a bit in the education area as well. It was wonderful. And it was wonderful to learn about tribes other than the Chickasaws as well. Growing up, the 5 civilized tribes were kind of in my wheelhouse and radar. And so traveling the country and seeing how others, live and how their governments are structured were very interesting to me.
Born in Oklahoma, how did the Chickasaw heritage influence you?
just knowing the story of how Oklahoma came about, knowing the story of removal, and then even after removal, land being taken away from the tribes that it was promised to. It was very interesting. And I was brought up kind of, near Oklahoma City, and I'm very proud of that. But also identifying my whole life with the Chickasaw Nation, with the values, with the struggle that, our people have had to endure, and in my mind, overcome so much. It made a huge impression on me. And I kind of carry that with me in looking at other people's lives when I encounter them. Everyone has their story. And I think as Chickasaws, we've been wonderful storytellers and learning our own story. So you know your story, and then you can share that and you can gain from others. So it's been incredibly important to me, while not living close to headquarters, to still know about our nation, to know our stories. We had no lawyers in my immediate family, but I think knowing about the role that my ancestors played in governing the Chickasaws when they were first arriving in Oklahoma and dealing with treaties, I think there's somewhere in there that planted a seed in me that public service and legal public service was something I could do.
We continue our conversation next time on CNTV. Toby Young talks about role models, mentors, and motherhood.
The Women's Conference features a special butterfly design, a different one every year, that's used to symbolize dynamic Chickasaw women. The design is selected from the Butterfly Art Contest. Kaylee Bashirs created this year's winning design. This was the Chickasaw Citizens' first art contest to enter.
And I was happy because I guess this is the first time someone with an unbiased opinion has appreciated my art, I guess. I would encourage other people to enter the contest because a lot of the times we critique our own art really harshly, and other people might not see it the way we see it. So I think it's important to enter no matter what you think of your art. And really, it's not really about the competition. It's about the experience that you get from the competition and the confidence you can gain from the competition. Because it's not just about drawing the butterfly, it's also about sending in the butterfly through the mail and reading the instructions and making sure you have all the pieces put together.
Your butterfly design is beautiful.
Thank you.
Butterflies reflect beauty and inspiration, and is the symbol for the dynamic women of the Chickasaw Nation Conference. Share with us how you came up with this design.
I went outside and I found a butterfly that my dad had shown me, and I took a picture of it, and I used that as my reference photo. But it wasn't a blue and orange butterfly. It was yellow and brown. And I changed the colors to blue and orange because I thought the blue of a butterfly would be unique. And I changed the spots on the butterfly to be orange so it would be a complementary color. I used colored pencils for all of it, and I used just regular, I think it's mixed media paper, so that provided a smooth surface for the colored pencils. So it made the finished product look smoother. And it took about probably 20 hours, I'm guessing. Really, a lot of it is doing the pre-planning, like figuring out what colors you're supposed to use and sketching it and trying to make it as symmetrical as possible. That took a lot of the time.
What do you want this butterfly to reflect? What did you want to convey with this butterfly?
I wanted it to represent the Chickasaw women and Chickasaw people as being unique and being strong and beautiful.
I enjoy a lot of your other pieces of art. You seem to incorporate nature in your pieces.
Nature is a good way to use your imagination almost. Like you can put trees wherever you want them or mountains and make them different colors. There's no rules to it. Like with a person, you kind of feel like I have to draw the eyes here, I have to draw the mouth here. But with nature, you don't have to necessarily do that. And that's why I like painting those.
Who inspired you to do art?
I think my parents did because they've always taken an interest in my art and they've always given me the tools to create more art. When I've shown them my artwork, they've always, I feel like they weren't biased towards it. Like if I showed them something, they'd be like, well, this kind of looks a little off. And that's really helped me. That constructive criticism has really helped me become better.
You're connecting with us from Tyler, Texas. You're a freshman in college. What are you exploring? What are your goals?
I'm hoping to go into the field of engineering or architecture. I'm wanting to my favorite subjects are art and math. So I'm wanting to combine those and use that creativity and like the technical part of math to create like products or draw buildings or something like that. And I'm really wanting to keep a 4.0 GPA throughout college. That's what I'm going to try to do. Art will always be with me because it's just one of my hobbies. To other artists who are starting out, I would say to just keep practicing and don't give up, because the more you practice, you will get better. Like looking at reference photos online and trying to draw continuously is what's going to help your art improve over time.
Congratulations to Kaylee. We enjoyed connecting and visiting with her, excited to see what she creates next. The application for the next Butterfly Art Contest is available now online.
The winning artist gets a cash award, $500 for the butterfly art. That's all the time we have now for this episode.
We'll see you next time here on CNTV.